want this to be over. This is Sleepover on this episode of Does This Movie Suck? Sleepover is a 2004 film directed by Joe Nussbaum, starring Alexa Vega, Scout Taylor-Compton, and Brie Larson. I took this movie recommendation out of Roger Ebert's book, Your Movie Sucks. If the director's name Joe Nussbaum rings a bell, it may be because of the film George Lucas in Love. It's a funny take on the origins of the Star Wars trilogy. The film uses the plot device of Shakespeare in Love to tell Lucas's story. Nussbaum would circulate George Lucas in Love as a business card, which would lead to this film. The writer of the film is Eliza Bell, who would write several films during her career, most notably Vegas Vacation. So Sleepover would have a certain pedigree. The creative team behind it doesn't really jump off the page, though. Here's the thing. Let's agree not to spend too much time talking about Sleepover. Partly because the film isn't that bad, but mostly because this film wasn't made with my overwhelmingly male, overwhelmingly 18 to 44-year-old audience in mind. And I'm right there with you. This movie was made for middle school-aged girls that don't know any better.
I can't believe you're moving. Where is Vancouver anyway? Do you know what happens to girls who start high school with no best friend, no guy, and low social standing? Nothing. Nothing ever happens to them.
Alright, I'll stop the movie there. It's a whole 29 seconds in. Based on the opening dialogue of this movie, which one of these two girls are moving? It has to be Alexa Vega, right? Nothing happens to girls that move, and she has all summer to revise her image. Nope, the mover is this girl. These characters are talking about two separate things. Julie, played by Alexa Vega, has to revise her image before moving from middle school to high school, and Hannah, played by Mika Borum, is moving to a new school. This is very confusing, and as I said, we're only 29 seconds into the film. And now my favorite day player in this movie, wait for it. There he is, this guy. This guy is having fun. On their way out of school, the girls run into this teacher who gives them a summer reading list.
You read all these books?
Yeah, many times.
Really, Mr. Corito, you need to get out more.
I only mention this because it's a plot point later.
Julie!
Great. Stacy's gonna go to Liz's sleepover. Speak of the devils.
Hey, Yancy!
Stop. Part of me thinks the first cut of this film was 8 hours long and it was only cut for time. Let's go through that again. Julie and Hannah get word from Farrah, played by Scout Taylor-Compton, that Stacy, played by Sarah Paxton, might bail on their end of the school year sleepover because Liz is having a competing sleepover. Liz is played by Brie Larson. But within the course of one edit, there's a new girl in this group. Boom, there's Yancy. I'll give you one guess what her plot points are.
My father's a lawyer.
Oh?
He can help you sue the Diet Pill Company for non-performance.
Yancy is played by Kylie Flynn Childress. That's her plot, and the movie handles it in the worst possible way. I'm guessing that the film had a lot more setup for Yancy at one point, but they decided to cut it because of time. Since there's a new opening at Julie's house, the girls invite Yancy. On their way out of school, they run into Russell and his band of misfit toys.
Last chance to see a picture of me in a coma. I've got tubes in nasty places.
You were barely in a coma.
3 hours.
Russell is played by Evan Peters. If that name rings a bell, it's because he's been very good on American Horror Story, and he's now featured as the best part of the X-Men franchise as Quicksilver. Russell is the Anthony Michael Hall character if this were 16 Candles. He's a goofy boy, and he helps save the day. We learn that Stacy is in fact not going to Liz's sleepover, but she's going to the high school dance with her high school boyfriend.
How did Stacy get so popular anyways? We used to be best friends. So, I think I have a solution. I'll just move with you.
2 minutes later. 2 minutes! The movie sets us straight on who's actually moving. The girls walk by the high school that Julie will be attending next year, slobbering over the fountain that is the best lunch spot for the cool kids. They point out that they will more likely have to sit by the dumpsters. We're then introduced to this stuntman, who turns magically into this dreamboat.
Steve is so plush.
Okay, Google. Define plush.
Plush, a rich fabric of silk, cotton, wool, or a combination of these with a long, soft nap.
A lot of the verbiage of this film doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I know it wasn't a thing yet, but at points this movie seems written by autocorrect. Julie heads home. We meet her super embarrassing mom, played by Jane Lynch.
We are having a ladybug party. Ladybug plates and a ladybug piñata.
Mom! We meet her brother Ren, played by Sam Huntington. He's a dope. That's his character.
College. Everyone was so serious. High school was great. Stay as long as you can.
We also meet her father, played by Jeff Garlin. Now, if you're surprised that Jeff Garlin and Jane Lynch are in this movie, so was I. But there's a third actor I haven't mentioned yet that I was way more surprised to see. More on that in a moment. Julie's dad is staying home to supervise the girls and install a water treatment system in the house. It's something that's not that hard. It's 2 tubes, in and out. He screws this up a lot. And Julie's mother is going out to dinner with some friends. Cue the montage! The girls aren't allowed to leave the house, so this is the fun they're having. Meanwhile, Stacy's douchey boyfriend has picked her up, but instead of taking her to the dance, he tries to get fresh with Stacy in his car. Most movies would have this scene take place at an Outlook or something. Sleepover? Well, there's an Applebee's or something over there. Here's some people walking. This is obviously a public place, a park or something. Not feeling like getting fresh in public, Stacy bails, calling her friends.
Liz, change in plan. I can't get you guys into the dance. Calm yourself. I have new funness in mind. Start making a list.
Okay, we'll need 3 pounds of ground beef, cheese, lettuce, sour cream, tomatoes, taco shells. Something tells me my list is not the same. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce our third character, played by a famous comedian. It's the security officer Sherman. He's played by Steve Carell. This movie came out the year after Bruce Almighty, the same year as Anchorman. Post-Daily Show, pre-Office. I'll let it slide. Sherman says that the girls are being too loud. The joke is that Sherman takes his job very, very seriously.
It's a Coke.
Ha-ta-ta-ta-ta. It's a Coke.
It's not funny, but it's a thing. About that time, Stacy shows up at Julie's house and throws down the gauntlet.
Scavenger hunting. Here's the list. We start at 8, sharp as nails.
Dress a window mannequin at Old Navy in your own clothes. Have a guy from datesafe.com buy you a drink at the Cosmo Club. Get a security decal off a Patrol Tech car. And,
Borrow a pair of Steve Phillips boxer shorts?
But Hannah isn't happy with just pride on the line.
lunch spot. Winning group eats at the fountain next year.
So that's rich. Hannah's moving to another school, but she's putting the lunch spot on the line. If they lose, it doesn't affect Hannah at all. Come on, Hannah. The girls convince Ren to cover for them so that they can do the hunt. He's an idiot, so this will be a challenge for him, as is breathing. Anyway, Stacy signs Julie up on the dating website that she has to use for the scavenger hunt. I guess that was nice of her. And she's on her way. Didn't she come in through the front door? That's weird. I'm sure that won't come into play at all. Julie puts on a dress. There's a montage to make the dress cooler. Brother Ren tells Julie that the coast is clear and the girls, since the girls can't leave the house, they sneak out the window just like Stacy. It was nice of the movie to tell them that. They steal Yancey's parents' hilariously tiny electric car and they're on their way.
Fake food's come a long way in the last 10 years.
Back at Julie's house, Russell and his crew invade to pull a prank or something, and they run into Ren. It's a real meeting of the minds, I'll tell you that.
Cha-ching! I found bras! Yeah!
Dude, don't you think there's something missing?
What? The girls. Right. Where are the babes?
Julie and Ren's father heads upstairs to check on the girls. Russell and his friends team up with Ren for the nonsense we opened this video with. We don't have to see it again, do we? Russell notices the scavenger hunt list, printing it out to go help. Then this happens.
You guys never wave at me. Oh, what am I saying? No guys ever wave at me. I'm fat.
You are not fat. Who told you that you were fat?
As Luke Skywalker said, this is not going to go the way you think.
Yancy, would you rather eat celery or a brownie?
What is that, a trick question?
Exactly. So you'll just date guys who like brownies.
And that's the moral they picked for Yancy. It's a choice. It's definitely a choice. And you hope the movie would ignore this dumb statement, but it doesn't. Is this really the best lesson we should be teaching young girls? Screw it, Yancy. You date who you want. You be you, girl. Don't listen to the haters. And in the world of It Gets Better, this is Callie Flynn Childers today. Her acting career didn't really take off, but she spent a considerable amount of time working behind the scenes on The Voice. And here's her hanging out with Zac Efron. So, Sleepover just goes through the motions of getting through the list from here on out. The girls set out to change the mannequins at Old Navy into their clothes, only to be caught by Carell's security guard character. Every time he sees them, they freeze, and he just doesn't notice. This has been done 1,000 times before. They head to the club so they can get the man from the dating website to buy them a drink. Turns out, it's the dorky teacher. This leads to a creepy encounter where he just doesn't recognize Julie because she's wearing sunglasses.
So, what's it like being a swimsuit model?
Cold.
Credit to the teacher, once he learns the truth, he plays along and lets the girls get their picture. The girls tell him to loosen his tie, they steal his glasses and mess up his hair. And he instantly meets a lady. If only it were that easy. On their way out of the club, the girls notice Julie's mom dancing on a platform. This leads to an entire subplot about her mother being out on the town without Julie's dad. Julie thinks that her father doesn't know, but I'll just skip to the end of the movie. He does know, and he's fine with it. That's it. It does lead to this weird moment.
What is that? I think it's my scarf.
Wouldn't the natural reaction be, I have a scarf just like this? No, because this is a movie. It has to be her scarf for the chase to be on. That leads to a dumb sequence with Julie skateboarding back to the house to intercept a phone call that she's certain her mom is making to her dad. It does leave to Steve, that's the dreamboat we saw earlier, spotting Julie on the way home. Steve falls in love a little with Julie.
Who was that?
Julie gets home just in time to intercept the phone call and everything is fine. The girls leave again and they go to the next part of the list, which is finding Steve's boxers. While our mean girls find Steve's boxers in his car, Julie sneaks into his house to steal the shorts. All the while, Steve is pining over the girl he saw on the skateboard.
You know, I think this is the girl. I think I knew her in like grade school or something. She grew up nice.
Steve, I think you can find a possibly less creepy way to say that. Julie leaves with boxers in hand, but not before seeing Steve getting ready for a shower. Meanwhile, the other set of heroes lose control of the electric car while trying to recharge it, sending it into the side of our favorite rent-a-cop. Sleepover thinks that joke is funny enough that the airbag doesn't go off just once, but twice.
Winning! That's my racial decal! That is it. Come on.
With the decal stolen, the girls now have everything they need to win the scavenger hunt. The mean girls decide to slack off because there's no possible way the other team got Steve's boxers, right? So they get some juice. Because stopping for juice is better than winning. Come on, mean girls, where's that killer instinct? This leads to a car chase and both teams arriving at the dance at the same time. It's the finish line and it's a tie. Everybody wins and we can go home.
All things being equal, tiebreaker.
What? No, we share the spot.
Wait, stop. What is this we crap, Hannah? You're moving. This movie forgets this plot point constantly. All right, resume.
Share with you? Don't think so. Tiebreaker, winner take all.
Oh, there's that killer instinct. What do we have to do now?
First one to get the king or queen's crown at the dance wins.
You guys can see where this is going, right? Stacy sees her boyfriend at the dance with another girl. That leads to a
cat fight.
This movie is not a good representation of Evan Peters' talents. He's channeling Mike Myers here, I guess. He does stand up for Stacy, though.
Are you kidding? Stacy? Stacy's a prime goddess. If I had a girl like Stacy, I would worship her.
So the geek gets the girl. Russell loses the list, which Steve finds. There's a dance competition. Wrap it up already, geesh. Steve wins king, but the mean girls know the queen, so the competition is on again. The king and queen can dance with whomever they want, and Steve only has eyes for Julie. He gives her the crown, and our heroes win, sending the mean girls into a finger-pointing contest.
You were so sure we'd win, you gave away our spot.
But don't worry, mean girls. I went to high school. The underclassmen don't get the best lunch spots anyway. Just because you're cool doesn't mean you get to override the entire high school social order. There's no time for kissing now because the girls have to race Julie's mom home. Out, out. Oh, chicka chicka. They make it home. The movie steals the entire ending from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, really.
Yep. I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast.
So, does Sleepover suck? Here's my extremely qualified answer. Not really. Now don't get me wrong, I didn't enjoy my time with Sleepover at all. This film takes bits and pieces from much better films and stirs them together into something that seems incredibly familiar. But in the case of this movie, it's not really meant for me. This is a film that's laser targeted to middle school girls. There's not really anything in there for parents or older kids. And I can't name a lot of films that target middle school kids exclusively, so that's pretty cool, I guess. What I can say is I didn't have a good time watching Sleepover, but I came away with an appreciation for what it was trying to do, even if it ripped off other movies trying to do so. Go ahead, Sleepover, you've earned it.
I knew it. I knew it.
And that's all for this episode. My social media is listed in the description below, and you can check out another review right over there. And tune in next time when we ask the question, does this movie suck? Thanks for watching.
A guy. A really cute guy. Where'd he go? He left.